Hi guys, and welcome to Freckle Finance. Today I'm very excited for this video. I have put together a collab video on car buying tips. Now the reason I decided this was a great time to do this video is because I am here, I'm in California, and we've decided that we're gonna be buying a car. And although I know lots of great tips, there are probably tips out there that I don't even know about. So this is a great collab video, and I will link all the contributors down below, so definitely check them out because you can never ever have too many car buying tips. So everyone participating in the collab will be going over 3 tips as well as 1 mistake that they made while buying a car. The first tip is a bit of an addition onto why paying cash is always the best option. And I'm not talking just simply because you're taking on debt, and that's a great advice. You shouldn't take on debt for a car, but I want to tell you a little secret that a lot of people don't know. So we will be paying cash for our car as it's always the best option, but I noticed something that happened at a dealership when I was asking if there was any advantages to paying cash, if there's any discounts, because oftentimes you're told that there is cash discounts. And some of them have actually told us that no, there is no discount to buying in cash and therefore you should finance. But here's the thing that they don't tell you. There are fees from the financial institution and the dealership when you get this loan. They are loan processing fees. It's for the application of the loans and the approval and all of the stuff, all the documents that need to be done. So it's kind of a documentation fee, but this is in the hundreds of dollars. It could be up to $1,000. It really depends on the financial institution, how much the dealership is gonna try to get away with charging you or how much they do charge. So it really varies, but it's a lot of additional money, and they like to say, you know, it's a great interest rate, it's basically like you're paying cash, but no, there are fees in there that they won't tell you about. Now, they're not hidden in the sense that if you look at your contract, they legally have to list it, and it should be on the bill of sale, etc., but a lot of people don't read those. So just remember that paying cash does still save you money, even if the dealership tells you that it doesn't. The second tip, and this is also related to why you should pay cash, is that 0% interest is never free. You never get things like this for free in life, so trust me, you are paying something. So generally with 0% financing or reduced financing rates, there is an additional cash incentive that if you pay cash and finance elsewhere, it will reduce the price of your car. However, if that is not an option, believe me, they have increased the price of the car to pay for financing. There is no way in the world that a financial institution will not get some kind of money for financing you. They have to have some kind of gain or they are not gonna take on the loan. So for sure, absolutely 100%, you are paying more for 0% financing, whether it appears that way or not. 0% financing is not free. And this is something that I find frustrating when someone says, no, I financed, it was 0% interest. Your interest rate is 0%, it's true, but you definitely paid more money somewhere, and possibly even more than the financing, because now they've basically essentially hidden the financing costs on you. Always try to negotiate the price of your car. Now, I know that there are programs through places like Costco that will get you a pre-negotiated rate, and that's great if you don't want to deal with the hassle and you can justify spending a little bit extra on it, but there will be cheaper ways. You will be able to get a car for cheaper, and here's the system that you're supposed to use. I do want to note that this works a lot better with a brand new car than a used car, but I still think that there can be slight tweaks and variations used when you're buying a used car. So this is actually quite a stress-free negotiation tactic, and I did find this on a website. I can't remember the name of it, but I will link it down below if you want a way more detailed version of all of this negotiating tactics. So going into this, you have to know exactly what car you want, up to the trim. If you don't care about the color, don't worry about the color, but you need to know exactly the car you want. And you're gonna email all the dealerships in the area that sell that car. And you're gonna say, I want this car, what's your best price? So the dealerships are all gonna come back to you. They're gonna have variations of prices for this exact same car, but you're not done yet, because you're gonna take the lowest number and you're gonna email all the other dealerships that responded saying, I got this number, can you beat this? And you're basically forcing all of the dealerships in the area that sell this car to compete with each other, because they're all going to want the sale up until it's not worth it for them, and they will reduce prices. So you keep doing this again and again, emailing all the dealerships until basically they're at a standstill and they won't reduce the price of the car anymore. Sometimes they'll add in extra options, but there comes to a point where, oh, we'll take $100 off, or it becomes very, very minimal, or they've completely stopped. And basically you found the lowest price you can get this car for. And then you have that quote, you have it in email, you take it into the dealership, and they're supposed to honor it. Now, there could be some dealerships who don't honor that quote, walk out, go to the next lowest quote, or try to see if the other place that was close to that number will match it. It should not be an issue with the dealership not honoring that quote, but just make sure when you're signing the bill of sale that they have not added in additional warranties and other items that you did not request. So just make sure of that, but the sale price of the car should match the sale price that you had agreed on, and you have written proof that they've agreed to sell the car to you for that price. So this can work for used cars as well. However, the difficulty is that you won't be able to be as picky with trim, and therefore it's hard to really judge whether you've gotten the best value, because one car might be slightly more expensive with a higher trim level, slightly less expensive with a lower trim level. Just try to focus on getting the minimum trims that you want and get it the cheapest you can. So if stuff has extras and it's more expensive than another car that has everything that you want and is cheaper, just go with that car. So this can still work for used cars. You just have to tweak it and kind of set a little bit different expectations for it. So my biggest car buying mistake, and I'm sure this is going to be similar answers to a lot of people, I bought a car when I was 17. So I didn't really need a car. It was definitely a want, but man, I enjoyed having my freedom as a teenager. But do you think I paid cash for that car? No. And I wasn't even old enough to get a loan. Luckily, my co-signer, which was my mom, had prime credit, so I didn't pay ridiculous rates or anything like that, because if you have no credit and you're an 18-year-old with no credit, you will end up paying higher rates if you don't have a co-signer who has good established credit. But even so, if I could go back in time, I would save up my money and pay cash. That car caused me a lot of financial stress and issues when I was in university, even when it was paid off, because of repairs. And for a lot of, I couldn't exactly afford it as comfortably as I had convinced myself when I was 17 and I bought that car. I did only have a 4-year loan, which is definitely a lot shorter than a lot of people get now, because I know you can get like 8-year loans. But if I could go back, I would pay cash. It was a $6,000 car. It wasn't expensive. It was pretty much, it was a Pontiac Sunfire. It was not an expensive car. It was pretty much the cheapest, but like decent quality car that ran well. And my dad had these special specifications that had to be in a car, like under a certain amount of mileage, it had to be in a certain condition, et cetera, et cetera. It met all that at $6,000, and I had $3,000 saved up. I could have just not gotten the car, and what are you gonna do? But I will say, that being said, I still really, really loved that car, and I miss it sometimes. So it's still a mistake though. Don't get me wrong. So definitely go and check out the other contributors for this lab. And if you're new to this channel or you haven't subscribed to me already, make sure you click that subscribe button below and thumbs up for smart car buying. And remember, no matter what your financial situation is, make sure to have a great day. Bye.